Hi, this is Max Cantor, the Guideline USA Country Manager. Now we're here at Wildman Lodge in Alaska, fishing at the end of September for some late run dolly varden char and for some silver salmon here behind the lodge. Now we are utilizing the Guideline ULS 2.0 for a variety of applications on this trip. And the cool thing about these rods, although they're switch rods, they are single hand rated. So your grains and grams are going to be right there on the rod for picking the correct line, whether it's a weight forward or a shooting head. Now for fishing for char like this via indicator nymphing, I've gone a bit heavier on my weight forward line and gone one line size over for this technique, as I'm utilizing a lot of roll casting and I'm using the reach of the rod to perform some aerial mends, some stack mending, and to keep my presentation moving naturally down the river. Let's see if we can catch some fish and use some tips with the ULS while we're doing it. So one thing straight away, these rods are light enough that I can cast them with one hand, and I'm roll casting a lot with this setup. It's light enough that you don't need to keep two hands on the rod, but one is perfect. Oop. Actually, there we go. Didn't even get to mend that time. Oop. That's all right. Send it right back out there. Okay, so one of the benefits of using a longer rod, like something 10 feet, 6 inches, or 11 feet, is that you have a lot of control over what your line is doing, which if you're indicator nymphing is super important. It's not always so easy as throwing it out there and letting it do its own thing. You need to manipulate the line in order to keep your fly moving at the speed of the current, whether that is slowing down your drift or speeding up your drift. It's not quite so fast here, but you can see, I'm fishing at a distance of about 40 feet. I can move that much line with the ULS so easily and keep it drifting exactly at the speed at which the current is moving. Starting to drag there a bit, so I'll throw a mend in there to slow it down, and just like that, he took it. Hook set downstream, nice fish. These dolly varden have come in from the ocean. They're in varying stages before their own spawn here, which won't happen for a little bit. But when playing big fish, you do have a lot of leverage with the 10'6" ULS, but I can just slide him in right here and we'll show him off to the camera. Cool fish. See if we can get another one. So we've still got the ULS 2.0 here, and we're using it for its more intended use, which is swinging and stripping flies for anadromous fish. In this case, some bright coho salmon coming up from the ocean. Now, we've got a pretty strong upstream wind at the moment. It's not necessarily easy fishing conditions by any means, but this is one of the instances in which this rod truly shines. Okay, so if I'm double hand casting with the ULS, one of the things that I see quite a bit is that casters are extending their stroke too far down and causing the line to coil in on itself and not present properly. With a short shooting head on, in this case, an 11-foot rod, the casting stroke actually doesn't need to be all that long. It's very much in the Scandinavian touch and go sense. So, I create my D-loop here, and my pull to turn that over doesn't extend all the way down here. It's gonna stop abruptly as my bottom hand stops, and I'm gonna be able to punch through that wind and turn that fly over and present it accordingly. Now, when those gusts really kick up and you wanna do something a bit different to get your fly to turn over, I'm actually gonna single hand cast this as well. As we mentioned earlier, this rod is light enough that you can cast it all day with one hand and not get tired. It's single hand rated, so I can do the same thing here. And what I'm gonna do with that is actually add in a haul to my presentation or to my cast. So if that wind really starts to move up, I can come forward, do a haul, and create a bit more line speed to cause that fly to rocket through the wind. Now, when it really kicks up and I want to overhead this, one thing that I do see with the ULS, we've got the shooting head to running line junction on this setup. I want to put that right to the tip. Too much running line out with the with an overhead cast. I find that these don't perform as well as if that shooting head is right there on the tip. And same thing, I'm going to let it extend behind me. I'm going to do one haul and it's going to turn over in the wind, no problem. And in this case, it's not a huge river, but it's big enough to where I still need to get the fly to the other side to where I want to be fishing. So with all that, let's see if we can get a silver. Beautiful fish, and that's one of the many reasons why we love the ULS 2.0 up here and in all fisheries through the USA and the world. We've utilized this rod for a number of different techniques today, from weight forward lines and indicator nymphing to shooting head style lines and swinging flies for anadromous fish, regardless of what technique you want to use.